Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. Report reaching us right now is that Olori Naomi returned back from Paris only to find out that she and her mother have been summoned before the kingmakers and the Giesi ruling house. Now, it is been alleged and reported and rumored that they were summoned by the ruling house of, I think, the Ugburu, if I'm not mistaken, but basically the ruling house where Blublo comes from, okay, that they summoned Olori Naomi before the Giesi ruling house and Nami and the mother and the kingmakers, okay, the kingmakers of the Giesi ruling house. So basically this was like the Giesi ruling house and the other ruling house where Olori Naomi comes from. They have their kingsmen. They said there is a man that is called George Akintola Sir. Okay, George Akintola Sir, it's Dr. George Akintola Sir. They say he is a traditionalist and he is a writer, that he has written several books about the tradition of Ile-Ife. He is a true born, a son of Ile-Ife, and he also that George Akintola Sir, they said that one comes from the Oshikilo or Oshi something ruling house, okay? And so he is British Nigerian. So he is a great promoter of the Ife culture and tradition across the globe. So this guy has been in the UK for the longest of time since this drama has been happening. They say he has been in the UK because he had some health challenges, and by the grace of God, he is better now. So right now he is right there. And this George Akintola Sir happens to be a man that has never, ever spotted the Ooni of Ife. That he is one of those people who think that the throne shouldn't have gone to the Ooni of Ife, even if they were going to pick somebody from the Giesi ruling house. Some other persons were more qualified than the Ooni of Ife, but as God will have it, God chooses who he wants to choose, and this went to the Ooni of Ife, and the man has never been comfortable since then. That since Ooni of Ife assumed power in 2015, this George Akintola has been fighting the entire time. The only time Ooni of Ife got some breathing space was when he became sick and he was taken to the UK for treatment, and apparently he is fine now and he has started again. So now they said this George Akintola Sir is joining forces with the ruling house where Blublo is coming from, as it is alleged and rumored and reported. Bear in mind that I do not live in the palace of the Ooni of Ife, neither am I related to them or related to anyone who is related to them. I'm just a blogger. When I get an information and reenact it and send it here to you, okay? And so whatever I get on social media, you want to take it with a pinch of salt. These are no first-hand information. These are no second or third-hand information, okay? So right now, they say one of the biggest problems that Queen Naomi is facing and the Ooni of Ife, they are facing a problem with this George Akintola Sir, Dr. George Akintola Sir. They said that when Blublo took her issue to this man, the man, because he is a rooted traditionalist, or as in traditionalist, he is one of those people who have really contributed to defining the traditions of Ile-Ife. And so they said this guy decided that constitution, in their traditional constitution, when something like this happens, you take it to the ruling houses, let them look at it and see if it is okay. And so he now started giving directive of what Blublo should do and what Blublo should not do, and what they need to look into and all of that. And so they summoned Olori Naomi. So when Naomi came back from Paris, where she had gone to enjoy herself, bought her things and all of that, and landed in Lagos, where she was at the Royal Mansion, with all the wahala that she went through right there in the Royal Mansion, as if that was not enough, they said if someone got to her there, and they said this someone got to Queen Naomi even before the Ooni of Ife. And so when this someone got to Queen Naomi, it was Queen Naomi who communicated this to the Ooni of Ife. And Ooni of Ife was like, what insolence? Like, what the heck? What kind of problem is this? Now, the reason why they are doing this out of Ooni of Ife, because they know that traditionally it is the right thing to do. That's what they have in their constitution. And Ooni of Ife would not stop them from doing what they'll need to do, because this time the verdict is not supposed to come from the Ooni of Ife. It's supposed to come from the kingmakers, those that are responsible for making the king, and that the Kabiyesi is undermining their tradition. So what is the tradition now? The tradition is that Kabiyesi, a king, can never throw his wives out. And this is something that I think is beginning to make sense to me right now, because I do remember that from when Wurola came, it was Wurola who left. And then when Queen Naomi came, Queen Naomi was upset, but Queen Naomi was in love with her husband, so she left. I've never ever heard that he asked his wife to leave. He doesn't do that. And now it's beginning to make a lot of sense, because when all of these things were happening in the palace, as we kept hearing, everybody was asking, why is he not asking them to leave? Why is he still pampering them? Why this, why that, why that? We had all of this why question. Nobody could understand, but they say it's because of the laws of the land, that traditionally a king would never be allowed to ask his wife to leave. That is not their tradition. It's not something they do. So my question with this is that, how is it that a king does not ask his wife to leave, no matter what? What if the wife stays there and the wife harms the king? Would they rather a wife who harm the king than for the king to ask the wife to leave? But keep that aside. Kabiyesi did not even ask those women to leave. They said that, of course, they were supposed to move, or they moved to that place where they are now. It is something that is allowed in every tradition and culture. A man marries you, you do not determine where the man decides to keep you. Okay, if the man has made provision and he says he wants you to stay in London, this is the house I'm giving to you, you stay there. If the man has made provision and he says he wants you to stay here, you stay there. And not, my thing is that this is even not like a normal setting. This is a king, this is a royal family, and this is a man who is married to so many other wives. So why should this be such a problem? That's the question I am asking. So they said there's someone, Olori Naomi and the mother before the Giesi ruling house, and also the other ruling house. And right now, they said they are working towards going to, attend to that summon, to honor the summon. And Ooni of Ife was really, really mad over this, and that this, in his word, as it is alleged and rumored and reported, in his word, that this is the biggest disrespect ever. I'm going to bring you more update. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.